great day, great night, great week, whenever y'all are watching this shit up in through here. And as y'all can see by the title, I'm back with Real Housewives of motherfucking Atlanta motherfuckers. Okay. And yeah, y'all, I guess last week they didn't have a episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta because of the Super Bowl or whatever. So I'm back with my recap of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all already know the deal. I'm chilling in the family room until my beauty room is completely finished. Which, by the way, I should let you guys know, the beauty room studio reveal will be officially on Monday, February 16th. So literally, when y'all are watching this shit right through here, it's going to be just a few days from now, literally Monday right after Valentine's Day. So again, Monday, February 16th, you'll be able to see the beauty room, studio, whatever the shit that I'm put together for me to start shooting in and all that good stuff. So it'll be on this channel, so stay tuned for that. But I wanted to make sure to give you guys a heads up because I'm finally finished with the room. So eventually I'll be able to use that motherfucker once y'all see the shit. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Let's go ahead and get started on this recap, shall we? Let's go. So first up, we got Miss Kenya Moore, which I already know walking into this motherfucking Roger Bob's office, she was gonna be full of shit, okay? Now, you guys already know she's got like a little production studio or whatever like she always talks about. So I guess a couple of episodes ago, she done met with Roger Bob, of course, to be nosy and shit, but to also propose that they work together on putting together some sitcoms and shit because she wants to get back into the acting game or whatever, right? So her little whack ass sits down with Roger Bob and is sitting here trying to propose these little shows and shit, right? And one of which I was like, okay, that sounds like a cute little title and shit. And then she kind of lost me afterwards. So let me tell you how she starts off. So she goes sit down and talk about a couple of show ideas she had. One in particular was this show called Three Brown Girls, which I thought was kind of a cute title or whatever. She tried to explain it a little bit, got off topic real quick, and we went right on to the next topic, which was the next title, which she felt really passionate about, Life Twirls On, which I'm like, bitch, if you don't let this whole twirl shit go, but she gonna call it Life Twirls On, and it's about how these little mean girls try to keep her from being fabulous. I'm like, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. Ain't nobody gonna be trying to do no kind of show based on not a damn you have to say, but okay. So she gonna say it's based on these bitches who try to keep her from being fabulous. So it's loosely based on her life, okay? And so she has a couple of characters she wants to bring out, specifically one named No-No, who's some 50-year-old drag queen. I'm like, if this isn't some motherfucking shade, and I just feel like at this point, I'd have been like, okay, you either need to come up with something that's serious or you just wasting my motherfucking time. Like, from what I understand, Roger Bob is doing the motherfucking thing. I mean, he's produced some real sitcoms. So I'm gonna need you, Kenya, to put some real shit out there so y'all could be, at least he could try to work on something that's some real ass shit, right? So then she goes on to talk about there's another girl, I think her name was Day Day or some shit, talking about this bitch is clueless. She has no idea about nothing with regard to the Underground Railroad. I'm like, you know what? You need to go ahead and let this shit go, right? So you can tell Roger was being all kinds of uncomfortable. So she gets up, goes to the little whatever, the chalkboard or whatever the fuck, and starts writing people. Motherfucker she wants to have in her sitcom. Somebody, I want to get Eddie Murphy on the phone. I want to get Christina Milian on the phone. And I want to get Megan Good on the phone.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
First and foremost, Eddie Murphy, really? Then on top of that, maybe the only motherfucker that might answer your shit might be Christina Milian. But I ain't saying she ain't doing nothing. I mean, she got her little, her little ying, reality show or whatever. And I don't really know how it's doing. I don't know if y'all have seen it. If you have, comment down below. Let me know if it's good. I haven't watched it. However, she might have been maybe the only motherfucker that might have gone for that shit. Maybe before she had a reality show. But it wasn't a dig. Was that mean? Okay, you know what? Moving on. So, of course, Roger Bob's like, okay, we gonna try to see what we can do. And then she proceeds to talk about I just need to make sure that I have your full dedication, because when we do these shows, I'm gonna need you to be there along with me, along my side, to make sure that these shows get off the ground. This motherfucker was like, bitch, I got other shit to do. I'm gonna be in LA running some other shit. Ain't nobody got time to be up in Atlanta worrying about your motherfucking ass. And she's gonna actually take offense to that shit, talking about I need his 100% dedication.
Bitch, if you see that motherfucker ain't got got no time for Demetrius' ass. Who the fuck do you think you are that he's gonna be trying to make time for you?
Next up, we got Phaedra, who was going to go see Dr. Gregory, I believe is his name. And I guess she wanted to go over there and kind of talk about what's going on with Apollo or whatever. You know, soon he's going to be going to jail. He's going to be gone for 8 years. And she's trying to figure out how to go about telling Aiden about what's going to happen with his father, okay? And then she sounds as though she's trying to figure out whether she even wants to take the kids out there to go see Apollo, okay? Now, according to the doctor, Dr. Gregory or whatever, he pretty much let her know, like, look, you don't want the kids to hold it against you, all right, if you don't bring them up there. And there's a way that you can kind of put this where they have a better understanding of what's going on. I mean, they're young and they're still not going to fully understand, especially Aiden, especially because of the age that he's at. But, you know, kind of let him know that he did some very adult things, some wrong things as an adult, and that he's on an adult timeout. So I'm not gonna lie, some of what he said I really pretty much agree with, and especially for the fact that she was not trying to take her sons to see their father. And here's my thing, at the end of the day, and I totally agree with the doctor on this shit. Look, you don't want them to resent you from not having let them get to know their father over these 8 years, okay? That's number one. You don't want years to go by and then they're like, wait a minute, I never had a dad. What happened? And then they hold that against you. They show Apollo going to see his lawyer, all right? And they're sitting there talking about the fact that his worry is that he's not going to be able to see his sons, that Phaedra's not going to bring his sons to jail to actually see him, okay? The lawyer's like, look, we're going to try to combat this. And meanwhile, Dr. Gregory's talking to Phaedra saying you can't prevent him from seeing his sons because you do want them to have a relationship. Just make them understand that he's paying for what he did. That was wrong, okay? And I actually do like the way he said adult timeout. I actually think that's a really interesting way to say to Aiden, especially at his age, what's going on with his father, at least until he gets a little bit older. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Do you guys think that Phaedra should go take their sons to go see Apollo in jail? She seems to be very much against it. She was even saying, I don't want my sons to feel as though it's okay to go to jail. But in my personal opinion, and keep in mind, I'm not a mother, so I'm just going off of not being a mother and being on the outside looking in. I'm just looking at it like this could be the opportunity to also explain to your kids that this is not the life that you want. So yeah, this is your father. This is what he's doing right now. He is here for 8 years, but the reason why he's here for 8 years is because he did something wrong. So don't do that shit so your ass don't end up like this. Does that make any sense? Let me know what you think down below. So now we got Porsha and we got Nene's ass. All right, now since when are these two motherfuckers? Okay, we won't even talk about it. Y'all already know they've been cool for a little bit, but these two together just don't make sense to me. But whatever. Anyway. So, Porsha and her new titties and Nene decided to go ahead and get together and have something to drink, okay? This is after the little rendezvous when they went out of town just recently, so they're trying to recap what's been going on with each other or whatever. So I guess, you guys already know that Porsha has a job at Dish Nation. She's, on the radio or whatever, and it's a televised radio thing, all right? And Dish Nation is having a party for her because they love her humor and her personality, which is why her ass got hired, whatever. So they're having a party and shit, and I guess Nene was like, well, so did you invite Claudia? And of course she's like,
well, my publicist invited whoever she wanted to invite.
Okay, it's open to the public or whatever, so they can celebrate me and the Dish Nation or whatever the fuck, right? So she asks if Nene's coming. Nene's like,
I have to go to New York and study for Broadway.
She, of course, wanted to make sure to let everybody know one more time she's doing Broadway, okay? So she don't have time. She trying to leave the negativity in Atlanta, so she's going to have to relocate to New York to go ahead and study for Broadway and whatever the fuck, all right? So now they go ahead and start talking about what happened when everyone kind of went ham at dinner when they were out of town, all right? Porsha's ass is like, look, the blessings that have been bestowed upon me, I can't help, okay? But Claudia and Kenya's ass's legs have been wide open for everybody to see, and they need to go ahead and get them some of these blessings and shit. I'm like, okay, whatever, Miss New Titty, okay, and Miss New Body and Miss New Personality, because I know your ass wasn't like this when your ass was married to homeboy, all right? So whatever. Now they gonna go there and say that these women ain't good enough or haven't been good enough to have been wifed up. So Nene's sitting there saying, I don't care what they say after they done said they ain't never been no wife and they don't want to be no wife. Bullshit. They obviously haven't been selected as such, and it's an honor to have been selected as such. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I am not a fan fan of Porsha, this new Porsha that's going on right now. Like, I just felt like she was more genuine and more sweet and more kind and shit back when she was stupid. You know what I'm saying? Now this motherfucker got new titties and shit and a new little body, put a little something together and shit. You know, fluffed her hair up and got all big and shit. And now she all big-headed and, you know, I don't like this Porsha. This is not the Porsha. And then I feel like she's starting to pick up on some of Nene's traits which I ain't gonna lie to y'all for real, on some real shit. Like, I feel like Nene needs to retire from the show, but you know what? We're gonna just keep it moving. So now we got Todd and we got Candy, okay? They're in the kitchen and, you know, he goes ahead and tries a little butter up and shit, talking about like, you losing weight, boo? And she's like,
this diet isn't working for me.
and he's over here trying to make her feel a little better before he goes ahead and drops a bomb on her, which is pretty much that the play that they've been trying to put on and go on tour with is now in its second week, and of course it's got to end at this point because they're not selling enough tickets, okay? She was of course taking it back, talking about some,
Hey, what?
and he's basically like, look, you know, I mean, it's in its second week, but the dude, the promoter, okay, that is not getting the money back that he needs to be able to continue with the tour. So she kind of explains that pretty much the promoter is who fronts the money for the tour to even go on to begin with, and then they go and get some money back or recoup some of the costs from the ticket sales to recoup the cost of having fronted the play, right? But according to Todd, they really weren't selling no damn tickets, so he wasn't able to recoup no costs, meaning the tour has to end at this point because there's no way he's gonna be able to fund it any further. So Candy's ass is really upset at this point because she's just like, now everyone's gonna be looking at me funny, okay? Because this is only week number 2, and now everyone's gonna think I'm a complete failure, all right? And then she goes on to talk about the fact that she hates when she lets people run shit, that if she had controlled any of this, it would have ended up differently because, you know, she goes hard in the paint for hers, okay? Meanwhile, Todd's ass is like, well, look, hold up. My name's on this shit too. So we both end up looking kind of bad at this point. So Candy's really upset. I mean, on some real shit, I felt bad for the girl too because for real, you could tell she was sincerely upset because number one, you know, a lot of the people that were part of this, that signed up to do this, the actors, the actresses, the singers, whoever, the producers, the people in the background, whatever the case, pretty much signed on according to her because she was the one putting it on. And they had faith in her that this was going to work out. And they also get paid from everything that goes on for the play, the sales, whatever the case may be. And this is a job for them too. So now that it's ending, it's kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen to all these people that done signed on to do this play because of me? Now, here's where I have the problem. This is when Todd's ass should have been like, it's okay, honey, and embraced her because when you just hear news like that, it's disappointing. It's upsetting. You're upset. You're on television. People are watching you hear this supposed news, okay? At least from what we see. This is the first time you have heard this news of her having to stop the tour of the play that she was so damn passionate about. You guys saw, she's been passionate about this play since last season, right? So now this motherfucker gonna be like,
Yeah, well, you know, this just goes to show, you know, we should have been doing our homework, you know what I mean? And we should have done background checks. I mean, did you do background checks on the promoter? I mean, did we double check to see if he had put on a play? I mean, this is the time where we should have known better than to move forward with somebody who didn't have much experience.
I'm like, nigga, she's upset. Console this bitch first. Then after she's calmed down, you can kind of talk about the shit later and kind of, you know, dissect shit when she's had time to kind of take it all in. That's when y'all start talking about, you know, dissecting the shit and saying, okay, here's what we did wrong. What can we do to make it better next time? But nigga, hug her. Like, she's upset, legitimately upset. I'm like, this motherfucker, boy, okay? So it gets her even more upset. And then finally, this motherfucker gonna be like, it's okay, boo-boo. It's all right. I was like, man, listen, too late for that shit. Now we got Kenya's ass and her little cheerleader slash minion Brandon, right? So they're going to a little coffee shop or whatever because she ain't got her office yet. Now they're in the coffee shop trying to, you know, update each other on what's going on, right? So she proceeds to let him know that she done met with Roger Bob about a couple of sitcom ideas she had for a couple of pilots or whatever, and how she followed up with him a few times and that this motherfucker said he ain't found no writers, okay? And that, you know, she's upset because he ain't made no time for her. I'm like, bitch, have you thought that this motherfucker don't give a motherfucker, don't want to work with you? But whatever. So I guess Brandon, being Brandon, decides to let her know, look, we can do this without him. We can do this together, okay? Everybody needs a friend in their life like Brandon, all right? Because that motherfucker just ride or motherfucking die, okay? He tells you whatever the fuck you want to hear. So now he's telling her, we together collectively can do this. And we both know people, so we can get people together to get this done. So now her head is all gassed up and shit, all right? And now she's like, you're right. You know, I've got more Vision Media or whatever the fuck. fuck. I done put on feature films, bitch. We don't know what films you put on. I don't know what the fuck. What was that shit? Whatever the fuck that she done tried to say, she done put out earlier. Whatever. Either way, they are gonna try to put together some kind of pilot or whatever, and she decided to put the 3 brown girl idea along with the let's twirl on or whatever bullshit ass idea she had and married the 2 motherfuckers together to see if they can come up with some kind of pilot, okay? And then she proceeds to shade Cynthia. Now, see, she is just the wrong kind of friend to have, because now she said that she thought about Cynthia for one of the parts, but that Cynthia had said at one point she was an actress that she's acted before. And Kenya's like, I really don't know if I trust her, because the only thing that I've ever seen her act in was The Cosby Show, and I don't even think she had no damn lines. And Brandon was like, nah, she had a line. She said, hey, Theo. And I'm like, see, y'all just need to stop fucking with Kenya's ass. Period. End of motherfucking story. But I guess Cynthia ain't gonna have nobody else to hang out with, because she ain't got Nene no more, so she gonna probably stick around for a little while longer. So then she proceeds to also say that she's also thinking about Leon, Cynthia's ex-husband. Bitch, if you don't, I mean, for real, this bitch is completely delusional as fuck. But either way, moving on. We've got Claudia and we've got Derek J. Okay, he comes over to her house because I guess he's trying to get her hair all the way together for this little Dish Nation party that they're supposed to have for Porsha's ass. Okay, so I guess she's going because she claims it's because she wants to support and all of that shit, because she's an employee and all that. She's not trying to necessarily support Porsha. Okay, she's obviously there because she is an employee of Ricky Smiley, right? And of course, Derek J is like, okay, so I mean, how do you really feel about the situation for real? As they're trying on a whole bunch of wigs, right? Because she wants to all of a sudden glam up for this party, which, not gonna lie, you know, she needed to do a little something with her hair. I don't know why, but lately, these last few episodes, I'm like, no, bitch, no. I mean, and I know she's got beautiful hair of her own, but I feel like this was actually probably a good move to make. Anyway, he's trying out a whole bunch of wigs on her, and then she just further explains the fact that she was like, look, I wouldn't have no damn beef with Porsha if she wasn't such an asshole to me when I first talked to her, first approached her, and then she came for me, so I had to come for her, shots fired, etc., etc. And that's pretty much what the fuck happened in that scene. Now we've got Candy and Todd and Cameron and Don Juan and Johnny, and they're all together trying to pretty much get an update of what's going on with this play situation. Of course, Candy and Todd walk in and they basically let them know, look, play's not going on tour no more. It's a wrap, son, right? Now, here's the situation, okay? At the end of the day, it's not just Candy's ass that's at fault for this in the sense of, you know, just overall or whatever the fuck. Obviously, there were some mistakes made on this play, and, you know, Todd pointed that out. He accepted a little bit of responsibility as well, but y'all, Don Juan, that motherfucker right there, like, seriously, all he's been doing is throwing shade at Todd. You already know Don and Todd do not get along at all. You already know it's a little power struggle between, you know, who the favorite is amongst the two of them for Candy's love and affection. And of course, Don Juan has a little problem because now she's paying more attention to Todd. You know what I'm saying? That's her husband, boo-boo, okay? You don't disrespect nobody's husband, but whatever. So, his ass is lucky to me that he even still has a job over there, because you ain't gonna dig on my husband right in front of me like he just did when she dropped the news, because now she's telling everybody what happened with the play. And Don Juan is making all kinds of little jokes, referring to Aunt Bertha having said something about Todd having done this intentionally so he could bring some bullshit your way and shit like this. And of course, Carmen and Johnny are both laughing at shit, and Candy's ass and Todd's ass is sitting there looking like, bitch, this shit ain't funny. So in my mind and in my opinion, Candy should have shut that shit down right then and there. I'd have been like, look, you ain't gonna disrespect my husband, okay? I don't give a fuck what is going the fuck on, okay? So she sat there quiet as kept, Todd sat there quiet as kept, and honestly, you know, he didn't have to at all, for real. He could have said some shit, but he's just like over the shit, obviously. You could tell by his damn face. Don Juan is lucky his ass still has a job. I don't give a fuck about loyalty. When your ass got married, you're gonna have to accept his ass too. I can understand if that nigga was doing some bad shit or wasn't, you know, a supportive husband, but you already know with Don Juan, it's a little power thing, and, you know, he's a little jealous. We already know the deal with that, but that's pretty much what the fuck happened in that scene. Now we're at Porsha's event, okay? That Dish Nation is putting on, Ricky Smiley's there, motherfuckers doing a little correspondence shit, you know, by the step and repeat and shit, and, you know, he's all, you know, saying, oh, I'm so excited for Porsha, she might need a little help, she a little dingy, got a little blonde moment or two, but she cool, when welcome to Dish Nation. And then now Claudia comes in, and she done wore her little new wig and shit. And I can't help but feel that Porsha makes her feel a little bit insecure. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The more and more that I am looking and checking out this show, the more and more I see Claudia, as much as she talks shit, as much as she says, don't come for me, and I'm gonna come for you, and I'm gonna snap back, and boo boo bop bop. I feel like she really wants Porsha's acceptance. It's like nobody tries that hard to have conversations with a motherfucker they don't want to have like them, okay? So I just feel like even with the black wig, even though Derek J might have been who picked it out, I just feel like a little part of her kind of wants the little, the fabulosity that is Porsha. Because even though I don't like her stank ass attitude, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Porsha does look good. She got her hair going, and it's her naked hair company and shit and all that kind of shit. I just feel like there's a little bit of envy there. I don't know what it is, but ever since the beginning when she first approached Porsha at Dish Nation to even say hello, I felt like she was looking for that acceptance from her there as well. And I feel like part of her feels like, well, since she's single and I'm single and we both work at Dish Nation and we're both cute girls, that they were naturally going to automatically get along and that they were going to have some kind of alliance, and Porsha wasn't having that ass, okay? So even with this, her coming to the party and her trying to say, I'm here to support Ricky Smiley, okay, I just feel like there's a little bit more to it than what she's trying to say, okay? So anyway, they interviewed her or whatever at the little step and repeat type of situation, a little backdrop, and she's like, I'm just here for Ricky Smiley, but I want to congratulate Porsha. Fake bullshit, right? Then, she walks in, but you could kind of see, and maybe the cameras made it look as though she kept looking over at Porsha and shit, but clearly Porsha wasn't worried about that ass. I mean, she was sitting there talking to people like, I can't believe, even after what the fuck happened when they were out of town and the bullshit she done said when they were out of town, that she would have the unmitigated gall to show up at her party, okay? So Claudia was kind of looking over and shit. She got her little black wig, which I have to say is kind of ironic that all of a sudden she's into putting on full-on batches of hair when she's got hair her damn self, after she talks about how Porsha has fake hair and all this kind of stuff. I just feel like she's just insecure, okay? And Porsha brings out some of that insecurity, okay? So now Claudia's ass goes and sits her ass down or whatever, and in the spot where Porsha was previous to that, okay? And she's sitting there talking to the producer, and she's just like, yeah, I'm here, and da-da-da-da, and I just feel like, she was shady to me, and if she comes for me, I'm gonna come for her, the usual shit. And I just feel like, bitch, let the shit go, okay? Or your ass shouldn't just have been there to fucking begin with. You didn't have to be there, you know what I mean? So now she is by herself at this table and decides, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and hit this shit head on. I want to talk to her ass one more again, which, why? Okay? If you don't give a fuck about Porsha and her acceptance of you and y'all being cool, then why the fuck would you start a conversation with the bitch? Let it the fuck go, right? I said that last episode recap, right? So then she calls Porsha over, and Porsha's like, what the fuck, bitch? Sits down, half-ass not paying any attention to her ass, and of course, what's her name? Claudia's like, well, look, here's the deal. I just want to congratulate you. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for you with everything you've accomplished with Dish Nation. And, I texted you yesterday, and when I texted you yesterday, you didn't get back to me, but, I'm not going to be upset about that. I just figured I would come here and tell you personally. And I'm like, okay, see, yet again, why the fuck, if you don't give a fuck about this bitch, would you be texting her to say congratulations, bitch? Like, let it go, obviously, and clearly there's something there that you want from Porsha. For real. Like, why would you even text her? And then just mention the fact that the bitch did not text you back.
She ain't gonna text you back, bitch. She ain't fucking with you.
Okay. So now she's like, well, I just gonna let that go and everything. But I mean, just for Ricky Smiley's sake, we can at least be cordial at the office. I'm like, really? Okay. And Porsha's like, look, I'm not trying to have nobody negative around me. She used some big ass word, discernment or whatever the fuck, to kind of explain the fact that she's like, I'm not fucking around with nobody who's been negative to me. And that's just that. I'm not going to have that around me. And now Claudia's getting upset because she ain't giving her the answers that she wants and shit, right? So now she's interrupting her every time Porsha has a little something to say. Now she's going to be like, well, the least that we can do is try to be cordial. If you don't want that, then fuck that shit. I'm not apologizing for what the fuck I said. And da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, now you all in your feelings, bitch. Like, all in your feelings, okay? Long story short, at the end of that shit, Porsha's ass gets up from the table pretty much in the middle of whatever the fuck Claudia was trying to sell, okay? And she was like,
bitch, fix your wig and leave me the fuck alone.
last scene of the damn episode, and this is with Phaedra, okay? And she's making a little sweet tea for the children's, okay? Her mama comes over and they just start discussing whatever the fuck's been going on with Apollo. So now at this point, Phaedra seems to be torn because, I guess Apollo, you already know, has been kind of in and out of the house or whatever. He's been kind of doing his naive. He's been drinking and shit and going out and kicking it because he's finna go to jail soon, okay? They obviously haven't been getting along. He obviously hasn't been at the house. You know, his story and her story are completely different. He's been saying that she's not allowing him to stay there. And, you know, she's saying that he don't go there for real, okay? So, whatever. So now her mom is basically like, look, here's the deal. The last thing I want is for me to ever come over here and y'all are all dead. You know, at this point, you guys need to take it, you know, you need to take it into your own hands. You need to get the kids. You need to get the fuck out of here because at this point, Phaedra done told her that I guess, you know, Apollo's ass has been threatening to blow the house up or burn the motherfucker down or whatever. And at this point, we don't know where the fuck that's coming from. But later on, as you guys are going to be able to see from the preview, I guess he is saying that she's having an affair. So he's ticked off as fuck, okay? So Phaedra's saying, well, I just want to believe that he will redeem himself and just become a better person. And her mom was like, look, motherfucker, you can do all that and it's all well and good, but I'm gonna need you to take care of you and these kids. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and take these kids out of here. Y'all need to go someplace else in the meantime, between time, so he don't come up in here and try to hurt y'all. So we gonna see what the fuck happens. Of course, I'll be back with another recap, okay? Let me know what y'all think of everything down below. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of the Claudia situation because as you guys can see from the preview too, she's all in her feelings again, crying, talking about this is some high school shit. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Thumbs up this video if you love seeing these recaps from your girl. Hopefully the next time I do a recap, it'll be in my new studio. If not, it's gonna be out here until I get the studio revealed to y'all, which again, I already told y'all, Monday, February 16th is when you guys will be able to see it. And y'all already know what to do. As always, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/SocialiteSandy. Hit me up on my Facebook fan page or my Pinterest page. Those links are down below. Hit me up on my blog, TheSocialiteLife.blogspot.com, and hit me up on Instagram at SocialiteSandy. And you already know I love y'all. And I will see y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Bye.